Hi, I'm Catherine, and this is a description of an analysis I performed on driving speed. My goal was to perform an analysis on my driving speed on a trip from San Luis Obispo to Fremont, California. This is a trip I perform often from Cal Poly, where I go to school, to my hometown of Fremont. I focused the analysis only on the time I spent driving on Highway 101, which is almost the entirety of this trip. I was interested in finding possible patterns or trends in my driving speeds and to find out things like the areas where I drive the fastest or how often I'm over the speed limit. To complete this analysis, I began by gathering the data from my GPS tracker from the day of my drive. Then I filtered the data points to just the points where I was traveling on 101. For each of these data points, I calculated the distance and speed, then the amount over or under the speed limit. To do this, I assumed a speed limit of 65 miles per hour, which is the speed limit for most of the freeway. After all this data was gathered and calculated, I mapped the path and speeds in Tableau. This is a map of all the data points where I was traveling at a speed higher than 65 miles per hour. The darker the color of the dot, the faster I was driving. When you hover over a point on the map, you can see the latitude, longitude, and the amount above the speed limit I was traveling. In this example point, the over-under value is 23.93, meaning I was traveling at 88.93 miles per hour. This is a map of all the points where I was traveling below the speed limit. As you can see, there are a lot more gaps in this path. From my memory and experience, the areas where I was below the speed limit are areas where there often tends to be traffic, which would have caused me to drive slower. In this map, the darker the color, the slower I was driving. A few interesting conclusions I discovered were that my highest speeds occurred around King City. This is the only stretch of road on that drive that actually has a speed limit of 70 rather than 65 miles per hour, so people tend to speed up in that area. I also found out that 81% of the time I was traveling on 101, I was driving over the speed limit, and my maximum speed was 91.79 miles per hour.